in the upcoming Senate trial. Thank you for joining us, Congresswoman.
Thank you so much for having me here with you.
Now, last time the president was impeached, his criminal behavior had taken place in a private phone call, while this time it was out in the open. How does that change the strategy for a Senate hearing?
Well, isn't that amazing that we have now an impeachment where the entire world has actually seen the crime scene in graphic detail. We have hundreds of thousands of videos of what took place. His speech, the prolonged effort he had to overturn the results of the 2020 election, as well as his attempt to maintain his grip on power by inciting the crowd, drawing them to Washington to that specific date, Reverend Sharpton, no any other date, but the date when all members of Congress were going to be engaged in fulfilling their constitutional duty, and inciting the crowd and the mayhem that carried out for it. We've all been witness to it. We have all seen the crime in real time.
Now, with the recent Democratic Senate victories in Georgia, Chuck Schumer should be the majority leader by the time the trial is underway. How will that impact the trial process?
Well, we'll see, right? There is a process that has to be done, rules of the Senate in terms of what will and will not be allowed. We have great discussions by Speaker Pelosi, who's done a phenomenal job of putting together a team which has been working seamlessly, and she and others will be in the discussion about what that trial looks like. I'm happy that we have the Georgia wins. Elections have consequences, and we'll see how that plays out in the Senate.
Now, you're one of 6 non-voting members of the House of Representatives. What does it mean to your constituents who do not have a voice in voting for president or vote on federal legislation? What does it mean to them to have representation in an impeachment trial?
Oh, Reverend Sharpton, I'm so glad you brought that up. You have no clue what it means to the almost 4 million Americans who live in the territories, who yearn incredibly to be able to have the full privileges of citizenship along with the responsibilities. When my home, the Virgin Islands, was purchased by the United States, my grandparents, our forefathers, came to Washington and demanded that we be part of the draft because they wanted the responsibilities along with the privileges. And the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam, all of the others, we fight in the wars in greater numbers and percentages than anywhere else. And yet we have a commander-in-chief that we cannot vote for. So there was great angst among Virgin Islanders and others about this election, fighting to ensure that people would participate. We were so thankful that Americans came out in greater numbers. But what great irony it is that while we were not able to vote for a president, the individual that they did vote for is the person who is going to be trying the president in the Senate, only in America.
Before I let you go, I have to ask you this. Back in January, on January 6th, you decided to take your chances with the insurrectionists rather than staying in a secure room with some Republican colleagues who refused to wear a mask. What is it like to work with so many people who refuse to consider other people's safety during a pandemic?
Well, I think, my good sister, and we are praying for her and her husband's recovery, Bonnie Watson Coleman, said it best. It's an absolute refusal to face the truth. First, the truth of what this pandemic was doing and the truth of who this president is. That inability to live up to truth and to walk in truth has put all of us in peril up until the objections that they did with the Electoral College, believing the false narrative of this president in terms of him winning this election, and of course, not wearing a mask with the pandemic. As a Virgin Islander and a Brooklyn girl, I was ready to deal with the crowds rather than deal with a virus I couldn't see.
Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, thank you for being with us. Coming up,
thank you, and happy MLK Day.
Same to you. Coming up, some words for